Hello and welcome to my channel. This is my first video, and in this first video I wanted to talk about the Tiny Tin Tag Challenge by $Diva99. She made a video about it that I'm going to link you in the description box below. And part of the challenge is that you're supposed to only use 12 pencils for one picture. And the idea is that you use basically your smallest set of 12 pencils. I don't actually own a set that small. I don't have a set that only has 12 pencils, but what I do have is a set of 24 Holbein colored pencils that I got as a gift. And if you open this up, then you can see that inside it gives all the colors that are included in the 36, 24, and in the 12 set. And they have different 12 sets, but the 12 set basic has all the colors that are also included in the 24 set. So what I did basically is that I went through this list and picked all the colors out of my 24 set that are included in the 12 set. And let me put this away. Those are the pencils that are then included only in the 12 set. You have your basic black and white, and then you have basically two of each color. So you have a light and a dark green, a light and a dark blue, a light and a dark brown, and then you only have one yellow, one orange, and one red. And with those colors I tried to color one picture, and for the picture I wanted to color I picked one out of Rita Berman's Frühlingsspaziergang. This is a German book, and she has a whole range of books through all the seasons. So she has spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And since it's pretty cold and rainy here at the moment, I really wanted to color a spring picture. And I really like her books in general. She has really sweet and whimsical pictures, and she really likes to color or to draw cats. And also what I really like about her books is that they're pretty small in size. So it's quicker to color or to finish a picture like in the usual standard size, like think of Johanna Basford's books. And for the challenge I picked this picture with little mice. And I felt like it should be a night scene because it shows stars in the sky, and I wanted to make the flowers look and glow like lanterns. And you can see that the yellow light, reflects into the fur of the mice. I really enjoyed this challenge because since you are so limited with your pencils, it challenges you, or it challenged me, to use different techniques like what I usually would do, especially when it comes to putting in shadows. Usually what I do with shadows, or to create shadows, is that I use the same shade, just a bit darker. Like for red, I would just use a bit of a darker red, or green, just a darker green. Sometimes, very rarely, I will use brown. And I already had to use the few shades I had for the, for example, for the leaves itself. So I couldn't create shades or shadows with it. And the brown that I had, this one, wasn't really dark enough for shadows. So I had, those two greens to create all the leaves, and I couldn't really do shadows with the brown. But what you could also do is actually you can use black, of course, but that creates very, very dark shadows. I only use this very, very sparingly here and in the very dark parts here. I usually don't use black for shadows. But what you can do is you can use an analogous color. And what that is that it's a color that is right next to the other color on the color wheel, as you can see here. So for the blue, for the green, or actually for shadows, then use the blue because it's next to it on the color wheel. And this worked pretty well. I hadn't done or hadn't used this technique before, but maybe you can see it here in the shadows of the green. That's actually blue that creates the shadow everywhere here. What you could also have used would be a complementary color. So for the green, I could have used red, but I felt this might have been a bit too stark. But the blue worked surprisingly well, so I really learned something about doing shadows or doing different techniques for the shadows with this challenge. My only problem with the challenge is that I usually don't use pencils for backgrounds, and I especially didn't want to wear my expensive Holbein blue that I cannot replace because they are not, sold open stock around here. And I didn't want to wear it down with the background, so I only, went over it pretty lightly. It's the same for the earth. It should be darker and more burnished. This is what I would usually do, but didn't want to with the Holbeins. But I think it still works out pretty well, and you are allowed to use like Posca pens or something for embellishment. And after I added those, like with the little dots around here and here, I think you can't see that it's not exactly even and not burnished. I really like that I didn't have to think of a complicated color scheme, because for most colors I only had one or two to choose from. Like for the leaves, I only had the two greens I could use, or for like this red, I only had one red that I could use. So I added white to make it pink and give it a little of a gradient. And because the picture isn't very big in size, I was able to finish it in a day. So if you haven't tried this challenge out, I really recommend that you do, because it's quick and fun, and it really challenges you with the limited pencils that you have to think about how you can use them in creative ways, maybe layer them to create new colors, use a different color than you usually would for shadows and things like that. So if you try it out, I'd be happy about a comment. And for now, thank you for watching. If you're oh, that's okay. 9. 10 colors really, as I was saying.